Good morning, everyone. Let me get in the essentials room. Good morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. Just to let you the way we made money today, well, we had a number of ways, but one of the ways we made money is I went to Costco yesterday, and the people in front of me and the checkout person were rooting for Costco to go up. So this is where experience helps. So what do? We looked at a short-term chart of Costco to time our entry. So I want to show you what we're talking about because some of the people made at least 12 points in there. So pretty cool. So let me just show you. So what you do in here is we were watching the parabolic move in Costco. Now, you might say it was a parabolic move yesterday. Darn right it was. Today they came out with same store sales, though. It doesn't mean to blindly short on the way up. You know, I'm not into that. That's where you short it when you can make an identifiable trend line. Look at that. So a lot of people shorted here and covered. They made their 10 to 8 to 12 points, but that's pretty cool. So they short it and forget about negative divergence, as you had negative divergence here and it went even higher. So now there is a thing called three marching lemmings, and that's when you get successive highs. This is something I came up with. Successive highs, like you got up here, and successive lows on the MACD. Yeah, that's another warning sign. That's called three marching lemmings. So like I said, I came up with that. So let me actually put that in here. And then I'll share this chart. There. So let me share that with you. Now I can't share it in the YouTube live room. It just doesn't work like that with the restream or the YouTube. I wish I could. But the key in here is that you don't short just because of what I said about going to Costco. So you short when you see the cross, but you look for the cross. You look for the cross because of the stuff I was talking about. That's your initiation. So now, well, we did this. In fact, chart patterns mastery. If I can take a point out of a butterfly, I'm going to try to take a point. So let me see where it is. Nah, I'll stay in a little longer, but we did a butterfly in there, an expensive one, like a $4.77 one. Right. Yeah, we sold one at 525 and we're still in. So it says 559. But if it goes any lower, this will be like 570. So I mean, but if that fills the gap, yeah, we'll be fine. So I'm just staying in it for now. For now. Not sure I'll stay in, but that's where experience helps. So you can ask Roggy, you can ask Lorna, you can ask Neil, you can ask Bruce. This is the old syndrome of 2000. Well, I'll tell you two of them. One of them is 2000, where every cab driver asked about the NASDAQ and about Broadcom, not Broadcom. What was the one Mark Cuban was in? Whatever one that was, and Webvan. Yeah, that went from 10 to 0. But the key is that that's usually the sign of a top. So when everybody talks about it, what else happened? Well, the Bitcoin back here. So I had surgery. I got to show you this because I was proud of this one. All right, the last big top there back in 21, the big top. I had surgery, and the doctors and the anesthesiologists were asking me, should they buy Bitcoin? I'm not making that up. So it's just amazing. So, in fact, yeah, the QQQ, when I also had surgery in 2008, And everybody in here was asking, should they buy the dip in the Qs? So it's just amazing on how that works. So it doesn't mean Costco's going lower, but the NASDAQ went straight up and Costco went down. So chart patterns mastery, I'm still short Costco. We're going for the gap fill. So if it gets the gap fill, that thing's going to be, it's going to be $6. So, we bought it at 477. These are expensive butterflies. This isn't a 10-cent butterfly you're selling at 15 cents. So just keep that in mind in here. So move this 5 points. So forget about the analyze tab. Just move it 5 points. What's it worth? Yeah, 590. So yeah, 598. So if we could sell around $6, I'm out. So I just want to let you know and be thrilled we made that kind of money. So in a butterfly in Costco on a theory. So just want to make that clear about a theory. Now there are other theories. Unfortunately, it's a little too close to the Super Bowl. So here's another theory. In fact, chart patterns mastery, I got to put it in at 588. If we can make a point on a parabolic stock, I think you take it. So I'm going to put in 588. Let's put it this way. I want to see it fill the gap. It's so close to filling the gap. So we got to go for the gap fill. So now you might say, yeah, but that's a sell signal. Yeah, but it's Costco. I mean, this stock's a monster. And you take a point out of a butterfly in an hour, you take your point. So you're real close to filling the gap. So I just want to tell you, chart patterns mastery. Yeah, that $6 is a good idea. I'm going to put in 5.90. Yeah, that's what I have in. Yeah, I sold it at 5.90. So chart patterns mastery, let me go in and log in. I can't go and narrate in there and there it goes filling the gap because the triple broadcaster will kill everything. But let me put that in for you. That's a really good trade for you. Now, I think it's probably going to 10, but, just keep that in mind. So we got out. So that was a good one. So I'll just show you. I'll copy and paste it for you. Happy to do it. And get it. Here you go. Copy. I'll just put it on the bottom so you know what I did. And put it on the top. Then the sell. There you go. That's a real good trade. And Renda, if you're listening, wait a minute. This is the better one. So, we were given examples for a sale coming up. It's a pretty good example. So not bad. So just want to show you, yeah, when we do these butterflies, we're not doing a 10-cent fly. We're trying to do more expensive ones. Do I think it could go lower? Yeah. But still, that's not a bad trade. It's 5 points in the money now. So we took our profit in there. Now, let me show you some other ones, but it didn't work. So in fact, chart patterns master, I'm going to give up on something else that we're breaking even. So the Super Bowl effect. Buying pizza, especially when on a daily it had a nice bull flag and the market going up. So this tends to go up at the Super Bowl, but it's not going up. Now, I might try to stay in for tomorrow, but I'm only in tiny. And tiny means less than 50 shares. So just keep that in mind. So, but we're in that for the Super Bowl effect. If you go back, and you go way, way back. So just go to the Super Bowl. Here you go. Pizza straight up into the Super Bowl. How about the year before? Straight up right here. Yeah, not perfect, but it went up the week of the Super Bowl. Then it got killed. So, yeah, we got to look to get out tomorrow. And like I said, I only did small because I didn't have enough reasons. So just keep that in mind. So that's all we're doing there. Now, just to let you know on other stuff. So, crude oil, let me just tell you. So, TradingView has a competition. So, TradingView has a competition. It's called the Leap, and it's just paper trading. So, I went and bought, see the little thing? This is paper trading. So, I went and bought a bunch of crude oil here and sold it here. Why did I sell it? Because the Trump administration says they want oil to go down because they want yields to go down and they're real worried about oil. So the second I saw that, I sold it. All right, second one, NASDAQ. Went near the NASDAQ when it had this. I like these trend lines. So I've done 2 trades in this leap thing. And there you go, up $7,000. That's from yesterday. So that's pretty cool. So everybody can sign up for that. Now, I only started it yesterday. So I wasn't there for the Sunday night stuff, or I would have bought a bunch of ES futures when it was down 150. So just want to let you know that. So that's pretty cool, though. So it's nice to make money in that. Now, where do you go with the markets? Well, the first thing I watch is that the NASDAQ and the ES tried to make new highs. Every day the conditions change. Today, they don't seem to care about the bond market. But, and this is a big but, number one, the ES trying to go to a new high right here. And the second it went down, the advanced decline got hit. In fact, if you go to a longer term thing, all day the advanced decline has acted poorly. Plus, you have overnight the unemployment report. Plus, you have the bonds down 10. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the SPX unchanged by the end of the day. So, and that's another one. You might ask, well, why don't you mess around with that, the leap, and go and short it? Okay, I'll do that. So like I said, let's go and do something in there. There, we'll see what happens. But if I'm right, this is going to go to at least unchanged. Back to here, 60.85. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Now, Costco, I wouldn't be surprised to see it down. And Jack, how'd you like that trade in Costco? So, anytime you can take a buck on a $4, I mean, that's what, 20%. And that's an expensive one. So, not bad. So what else am I doing? Well, if the Nasdaq's down, let's just like I said, I'm messing around with this. This is paper trading, so I get a little crazy on my size. But if you put this up against the Nasdaq, so if the Nasdaq gets to that area, that's where I bought the Nasdaq. I covered right in that area. See the little arrow? But if the Nasdaq tests that, then why shouldn't this test it? So darn right, I'm going to put in an order down here. That's betting on it going to unchanged. So I'm going to go. And like I said, this is paper trading. But darn right, I'm going to put in to buy it down there unchanged. I just told you it could go to unchanged. So I'm going to put 60.87. There. So I'll show you. You do settings, you go to positions or orders. There. I have in here. So if this tests this, that could test that. And as you see, you're only a tweet away from it being unchanged. So MBT, yeah, it's funny about Bitcoin. Everybody what are the two stocks that everybody the two products everybody likes the most, Jack? Bitcoin and Tesla. Everybody with a love affair of these. And I'm just telling you, they've almost correlated the same. Now, I know that's what everybody's watching. So, and like I said, I use a tremendous amount of indicators, but mainly the MACD. I use ATR trailing stop, the 20 and the 50 for daily. For intraday, I'll use a ATR trailing stop and a 20. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Just keep in mind with all of this, everybody that said this would stop at support, how did that work? It's price support that matters on the way down. So just keep that in mind on the right, that when you take like ATR trailing stop, it's been in a downtrend now for 3 weeks. If you take it in a short-term chart, it's still in a downtrend, and there's a bear flag. Nobody believes bear flags in Tesla. So I'm only using a 20 simple moving average and an ATR trailing stop intraday and the MACD. And that's all I'm using. So that's what I'm doing. So like I said, I'm only using this. I'm using a 20 simple moving average and an average true range stop. That's all I'm doing. Look at that. That would end. So the more times you can connect a trend line, the more important. So if you think that's a one-off of those trend lines, go and check out this trend line. Then go in Costco and check out this trend line. I'm telling you, the more points of contact, the more important. And don't get me wrong, we mess around a lot on the upside. So we were long ALT. Yep, that had the other one. There, the inverse head and shoulders. So we'll play both ways. So they wanted some profit, some examples. I showed our marketing people buys and sells. So I have no problem showing both sides of the coin. So I just want to let you know that. So, but I like trend lines. The more points of contact, the more important. What do you notice even on a 1 hour chart? It was a better buy here when it crossed the ATR trailing stop. So you could do that with the ES. Oh, it's not a short yet. If I want to play it reverting to the mean by the end of the day, heck, I'm doing it as a paper trade. It's not there yet. So now if I see the NASDAQ down like 50, I know I'm going to be right. So when I'm watching the Apple, the Amazon, yeah, you see what's going on. So they're trying to roll over. Meta, I know everybody loves Meta. It is so darn extended. There is no way in heck I'm buying Meta. In fact, it's a short if it breaks that. On the other hand, on an hourly, it's still in never, never land. It'll be a better short longer term if it forms the kind of 1 minute chart I just showed you on an hourly. Then you can short rallies if it has an ultra short term pattern. When you go over here, it's just a never, never land. I mean, that's the way it looks to me. So I don't see the trade right now in here. Jack, we made our money in Costco. We made our money in other things. So now, well, now what happens? And Calvin, there's another thing you should know in here. It's not just the indicators, it's the time frames. So when I'm playing a day trade like Costco, I got to respect that it filled the gap. Forget about the moving average. I mean, you can have it up here. I don't use that as support. It's the price, and it filled the gap. But now it's oversold. Monster stock oversold. You take your profit. Now you want to see how it works off its oversold condition. In fact, I think I can share this. This way you have up the 8 on a daily. I like the 50 to determine an uptrend. But let me share this with you. I'm allowed to share this. There. 4 grid plus the indicators. There. And everybody uses different indicators. Keep that in mind. Some use a 21, some use an 8, some use 30 something. But I go on reversal candles. The second candle was lower than 2 time frames earlier. That's how we knew we'd be right. But we were going on that cross if we're going to ultra short-term trade. See that? All we were doing is the more points of contact. So we had a theory, but we didn't have the trigger till here. So are there other ones? Not really. Do the bonds show you anything? Well, here's another thing if they don't hold here. So if they don't hold here, yeah, maybe down here. So they've hit the a lot of resistance. So when you can even go and put this then on, let's say a 4 hour. So you can see the resistance. Price is resistance. But you don't have the trigger yet to short it. Plus, you got the unemployment report coming out. But I'm just telling you, I try to combine price action and triggers. So even though I have all these indicators up, I'm much more apt to use trend lines. So I just want to let you know that. Much more apt to use trend lines. So, I mean, now let me just tell you though, that being said, a trend line under an ATR trailing stop is going to work a lot better. So just, keep that in mind. But the big deal, when you see something that gets to support, then I look for the reversal pattern. So I can go through a lot of these biotechs I missed. I mean, don't think I hit everything. I miss things all the time. See that? I know it was at support. I got all caught up with the tariff stuff and didn't have in an order in here to buy it. So when this hits support, and I like this stock. Now you might ask, why do you like this? Because if RFK gets in, he likes the psychedelic stuff. So it's all perception, maybe out of vaccine into psychedelic. Did this have a trigger ultra short term? Look at that. That's why I'm pissed off. Bull flag, bull flag, bull flag. So you're not buying on the way down. You're buying there. Now that's not that far from there. I just took my eye off the ball. But the key is if you're buying a stock at support, it sure seems like a better buy here and here than on the way down. I know I bought ALT on the way down. I lost money, but then I knew I'd be right. Actually, I bought some all the way down, bought some on the way up. We're still in it. We're in a third of our position. So I'm not perfect. I'll buy things sometimes too early, no doubt. So that's where I am right now. So what do I think of the broad market? I think the broad market is going to go to unchanged prior to the unemployment report, especially if the bond market does a rally and the Russell does a rally. Keep in mind, the Russell and the bonds have led the stock market the last 2 days. So if the bond market sells off and the Russell sells off, then it's more likely this goes to unchanged at the minimum. Doesn't have to crash or whatever. Just means it goes to unchanged at the minimum. Like I said, I look all the time, whether it's a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 15, or an hourly, for bullish and bearish patterns. And you might not have it. To me, that was bullish. Now, believe it or not, it better hold here. That little area. Better hold. But that's a little sloppy. But yeah, if it doesn't hold there, then it becomes a top with no support. That's why I played the ES. But like I said, I played it as a paper trade. Yeah, the color code is proprietary, EC. So I had Eric do it for me. And like I said, the reason I have that is I trade a lot of companion stocks. Remember, we just talked about Meta. So if I watch the Google go down and Amazon, flattening before earnings, and I watch Apple getting pasted here, then I'm more likely, I'm just watching the groups. So I saw with the solar groups earlier. So I saw the first EMPH was going up, though it was more likely that First Solar would go up. That's all I was doing. So you see what's going on with the red. So they're all rolling over that 1 minute ATR trailing stop. So when you see that, why should you buy anything? So, and look what happened. I didn't even have to show you. Bonds down because they're keen off the bonds and you knew the internals weren't acting well. You're betting on this going to unchanged at the minimum. Like I said, the NASDAQ might be a bear flag. I mean, that's how it looks to me. So let's go back to it. I'll show you. So when I see this, like I said, there's your support. If the NASDAQ goes down enough, then the ES is more likely to, at the minimum, test that red line. That's all it means to me. And that's where I am right now. So I hope that helps. So like I said, the lower the Russell goes, and the bonds, they're not doing much. They're not that big a deal. I'm just talking about flattening before the close. That's all I'm talking about. But it's, as you see, it's a non-event. Now, Costco hasn't been the same. So if the unemployment report is really, let's say, I don't know if it's good or not. I don't know what it's going to mean. But if this all rallies tomorrow and pulls up Costco to resistance, I'm going to look to fade it. Remember what we just said about Meta. If this doesn't hold here, you're talking about lack of support. That's the other thing. When I talk about trend line breaks up or down, they work a heck of a lot better if you have lack of support on the way down or lack of resistance on the way up. In fact, Meta, I got to tell you, looks chart patterns mastery looks like a short in here. That's what I was telling you. So if the NASDAQ's up like 20 and this stays in this zone, yeah, I'll look to fade it. Remember, it was a trigger here, right there. So that's what I'm watching. But like I said, overall, right now, it's sort of a non-event with things. It's just not the oomph yet, one way or the other. And that's what I see. So what would be my trigger to just go crazy? Well, number one, like I said, Meta. There's no reason Meta can't go to 700. I know everybody and their mother loves Meta and Tesla and Nvidia. So, but I'm just telling you, there's a time and a place when something's been up 14 straight days. That's I'm not playing it. But like I said, that doesn't mean to short it yet. What it means is to look for your trigger. So when you go back to Meta, do you see the trigger? I pointed that out as I was in here live. See that? So now it's under the 5-minute ATR trailing stop. Where's the support? You got the support at 706. Look at that. No support. So there's a time. Now, was it a buy here? Yeah, it broke the rectangle to the upside. So I'll play it both ways. I just want you to know that. But to me, it looks like it's 705. Now, when it comes to everything else, well, one of the keys is the advanced decline. I think every day it matters. Every day people key off different things. Like now, all of a sudden the financials are starting to go down. They've held up the stock market as well. The MongoDB is going down. That held up the stock market. So you got Meta. That held up the stock market. So if the bonds are going down, I think the big deal is still going to be the Russell. So if you see this Russell break like an hourly chart, there. Now it's getting a little oversold, but if it doesn't hold right there, then it could go down 20 points. If it goes down 20, then the ES is going to go to unchanged today, theoretically. That's the way I do it. Also, another thing, if you're going to trade like biotechs, so I just want you to know, do not go and look at H.C. Wainwright. Sometimes they have a maintains a buy at 50 on a dollar stock. And what I would do is go to tip ranks. Because a lot of you look at the news, I do, just to do some homebrewed research. And I'm telling you, go into tip ranks. Here you go. I'm not even logged in. All right. And what I do is go to let me see if I can find it. Well, I'll show you. Let's go into this because a lot of us watch biotechs. Let's go to ARDX. There. No, let's take another one. I want to find one that they upgraded because we try to trade biotechs. I think they're going to be one way to go. Here you go. Their price target on SANA is 11. You know, the stock's 3. You go to this person and you put it in tip ranks. Maybe they're good. Here's their success rate, 28%. I mean, my dog, if I put ink on her paws, is better than that. That's what I'm telling you. Take that, and almost every so-called expert with H.C. Wainwright is in the bottom 8,000. So I'm just telling you, don't trust that stuff. And one of the best with biotechs, because we have a list of biotech stocks and scans with that. I like Piper. It used to be Piper Jeffries. I think it still is. So, and I'll show you a scan. I can't show this in the restream room, but I'll show you. This is just a simple scan. So all we're doing in here is we're taking stocks in the biotech group. And this is something anybody can do. It's in there. So what I'm doing is determining an uptrend. So I'm taking stocks between 2 and 1,000. You go into industry, biotech, because I like biotech. I like ones that have at least 2,000 open interest. I want my determination of an uptrend is if it's over the 50 moving average. And then I want like halfway active. That's all. Right there. Halfway. And scan is probably 55 stocks, 53 stocks. All we're doing is trying to take stocks over their 50 moving average that are active. That's all. Just go in, and all of this is readily available on Thinkorswim. Now, if you don't have Thinkorswim, there's another way to do it. And that's this way. You go into FinViz. Now, I don't even sign in. They have a lot of great stuff free. You go into FinViz and go to a screener. So you go to screener. Go to biotech. So it's 600 stocks. I want average volume over 200,000. 400 stocks. I want them optionable and shortable. Now, you might ask, why do you want them optionable and shortable? Because biotechs can always have like some disaster. So if I'm going to buy something, I want it to have options. So then what you do, because here's all the biotechs, and I want them over 2. That's just being a price snob. But then I'm taking this. I want them over their 50 moving average. That's all. That I can share. This is just something readily available. Like I said, we do this all the time of finding these. And then all we do is we'll go into FinViz and we'll look at them all. I'll sort them by cheapies. And you're going to see a lot of them are starting to move up. I mean, a lot. Look at that. Somebody in our site is in that. I didn't tell them to get in. So there's one. I missed that one. Some of these are still forming. They're all in uptrends. All in uptrends. So a bullish flag in an uptrend is more likely to work. So like this, I'm going to put that in my long ideas. I'm just building a list, just so you know. But that's how we do it. We're trying to find stocks in an uptrend. Look at that one. I know nothing of what they do. I just know it looks pretty good. And what I mean by pretty good, it seems to have a bullish structure. Now, a lot of these might have earnings. And they might have, some trial coming up. You don't want to mess around. So this one, yeah, it's only gone from 50 cents to 6. I don't know about that. I like a tighter pattern. But you can add all these. I mentioned Airbus on our site today. We like having all these. So all we're doing, all of these, I'll put on a watch list. Now, let me just tell you, the reason I'm looking at biotechs is we're talking about rotation. So I'll put NRXP in there. The theory is that the Russell outperform. So TNGX, biotechs that have a gap down, I'm a little more nervous about. So biotechs that have a rally to resistance, I don't like. So I like the path of least resistance. So that's not bad. So, but that's how we try to trade. Now, keep in mind, CFAC is one of those bird flu stocks. Look at that. I know nothing of these stocks. So don't get me wrong. We play Costco. We play Meta. Where is Meta? Oh, it's gone straight down. That's a surprise. Keep in mind, Russell breaking, if this goes to here, then it's more likely this goes to the red line. That would be unchanged. That's what I was telling you. If the bonds are down and the Russell's down, this is more likely to be down. That's my day trader mentality. And pizza, by the way, we're stopped out. Just didn't work. So we're out of pizza. So let me put that in here. We lost $8. $8. Just didn't work. Let me put that in here. There. So just want to let you know, we're trying to be, and it could go up later, but I just don't like how it's acting. And what I mean by that is the market was rallying and went down right before the Super Bowl. Now, don't get me wrong. I might play it tomorrow. So that's where we are right now. So all I'm doing in here is not being a hero. We took our money in Costco. I still might play Meta later because it had that break. Now you might ask, isn't that a Brecher ledge? No. A Brecher ledge is after a really sharp sell-off that you get a horizontal line and not at support. You don't play a bear flag at support in a big old uptrend. So if you want to play a teeny bear flag, fine. But this isn't a Brecher ledge. You didn't really have a sharp enough sell-off. Believe it or not, that might be a Brecher ledge. That little sell-off. That's just a bearish continuation pattern. That's all. If that doesn't hold, you're talking about right here. The path of least support, 709. So I'm just telling you, that's what that's what we're going to be watching Chart Patterns Mastery the rest of the day. And to be honest, I'm trying to think of what other stores I want to go to that might be parabolic. So there's no Meta store. So, because that worked in Costco. So that was pretty cool. So you see it going up. Like I said, I did a paper trade. If I was that committed, I would be doing some spread under the market. I don't see it. The only things I see is we're trying to pick our spots. And that's where we are. So are there other things I want to do? Heck yeah, I still like the biotechs. Now, why is the biotech index going down if I like it? Because to me, it's overbought. So it's how it works off its overbought condition. The other thing about it is it's at some good resistance. But I think you see now that if it gets over that, it goes to here. And like I said, the big deal in here to me is that within this, I'm trying to find individual biotech stocks I like. So that's what I'm trying to do. ARDX still looks good. Has earnings though. But that's all I'm doing. I'm going through that FinViz and then visually observing them. So you see ARDX. Yeah, near resistance though. You see ALDX. So I'm just telling you, a lot of these right there, I'll just put on my long list. I want to build a portfolio. It doesn't mean I'm going to buy all of them this second. I would like to have some of them. And that's where we are at the moment. And that's where I am right now. Like I said, the lower the bonds go, I still have to watch the Russell, and everything's holding right now. Later, yeah, maybe something different. Now, how about other things? Well, I still like ARDX. It's trying to break out. Trying. So all I'm doing is building a list. Now, keep in mind when I'm building this list, like Sage Therapeutics. Now, that stock has been a turkey for a long time. But if you're going to trade this when it has all these gaps at times, number one, you don't want to buy it like the day before earnings. They hardly ever go up on earnings, they go down on earnings. Or if there's like a trial coming out, it's just too many disappointments. But if you're going to play a stock like that, let me show you. And I'm not saying to buy it, I'm not saying to sell it. But I want to show you if it has enough options and how to value it. So Sage. So it's a $7 stock. You don't want to buy the 7.5s because it has to go up so much to break even. It has to go up 50 cents. You don't want to buy the 5s because look at the spread. But you might say, well, yeah, I don't want to buy it, but I want to give you how to value it. Take the midpoint of the puts. So let's say 5 cents. Let's just take the offer. Add it to the intrinsic. So they're worth $2.24 plus 5 cents. You would have to pay $2.29 to get them. Now, I'm not buying them, but I'm just telling you, if you buy 1,000 shares at $7,000, 10 of these calls is $2,700. So it's just a bang for your buck. I'm not buying them. I'm just giving you, for instance, a lot of times you get onesies. So like ALT, it has halfsies. Every half has an option. So it's a little better. So same thing, 5 cents. They're $1.56 in the money. You would have to pay $1.60 for these. So that's how you value these. So besides that, I'm not doing a lot. Just keep in mind that I like the idea of biotech stocks. Just go into that scan I gave you. Now, why didn't RXRX go up? It just has too much resistance. So I always try to backtest to why something stopped where it did. I can put CADL in there. I'll build a list. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to buy every single one, but I will go through them then and go through news, go through when earnings are, and I try to really vet for everyone and do the research for them. But that's how I build a list. You know, I've looked at VIR, Chart Patterns Master. I'm not in it. The spreads were too wide on the options. And you can see some of them look a lot worse than others. Some look a lot better than others. And like I said, I will not buy something this detached from its base. So you got to wait for it to calm down. So take care. Thanks for being with me. I hope that helped. Like I said, we're not doing a lot here other than scanning at the moment. I would like to do more trades, but we made our money. But Chart Patterns Mastery, definitely looking at Meta. If there's any weakness here, I think Meta could go to that 700 level. So take care.